I was a sinner. I was a drunk. I like to fight with anyone. I said that no one can defeat me. And my heart was full of Satan. God sought me out to change me. And God revealed himself to me. And God restored my heart.
Cusutka is in the heart of the Ecuadorian Amazon, about 23 minutes by MAF plane to here. We have been working here 18 years. When we arrived, the town was divided in two. Some wanted the pastoral family to arrive, others did not want it because of the animism, witchcraft and shamanism of the people.
The people of Kutsurka were very strict. My dad and other leaders didn't want them to enter here with the gospel. But the pastors came and preached. Little by little, they changed the village of Kutsurka. It's not like before. Now they respect the gospel.
Life for missionaries who go to the jungle here in Ecuador is very difficult. I think that the missionaries who come to Ecuador and who go to the jungle to do this missionary work have a conviction and passion to serve the Lord and also to serve the communities.
The people who were against the gospel and against us, also as people who brought the gospel, they treated us with indifference and with hatred.
People came to try to kill us because people were against us bringing the gospel, because they said we are going to damage their culture.
I wanted to be a criminal. I like to kill people. I smoked drugs. I dedicated myself to adultery. I did not feel free. I felt upset and never lived well.
Our brother Ivan, he would come to church, sit in the back, and laugh from back there, making sure we were looking at him when he mocked and laughed. He would get drunk and come to the door of the church, shouting, insulting. Then sometimes it was with a spear, sometimes with machete.
Diego, he advised me, he hugged me, even when I didn't want him to. I threatened him when I was drunk. I didn't even want to shake his hand. As soon as the plane landed, I would get angry and did not want to see him, even from far away. I didn't want the sight of Diego to touch my eyes, but the pastor really loved me from his heart.
I realized something with Ivan. He was very affectionate with children and very affectionate with my young children, and that was a factor in being able to reach out to him. I would hug him and say, "How are you, Ivan?" One day, he even came to my cabin and he wanted to kill me. He wanted to attack me. He came back later and knocked on my door, and when I opened the door, he was crying and said, "It is that you love me. Don't stop loving me. Don't stop loving me."
On that day, I repented and accepted Christ. And I wholeheartedly accepted. And I said, "Lord, forgive me. There are so many sins that I did before you." I accepted God, and God forgave me. I want to follow Christ unconditionally. And I want to prepare myself spiritually and continue working. More than anything else, I want to serve Christ to the ends of the jungle, doing missions.
I've seen how the vision and mission of MAF and the vision and mission that Diego and Annabella have work together perfectly to help these communities in different ways. We as MAF do not live in the communities, do we? But we're a strategic ally and a useful tool for them to achieve their objectives in the jungle.
Today, we have the great advantage of having the airplane, which saves us many hours on the road. 18 years ago, we would spend 2 days on the road. So, it makes a big difference to have the aircraft and MAF to help us to do the job much more effectively.
The pastor used to be my enemy, but when I accepted Christ, I forgave. And now he is my friend in Christ. I am following God's path now, even if no one accompanies me.
Hey Flight Crew, really great that you're here, and I hope you guys really enjoyed the video you just watched. I am Lem, and we have
Kim
and Chad, and we were the team that kind of produced, not kind of, we actually did produce this video, and we're the ones that are behind the scenes, behind the cameras, interviewing the subjects, and we just wanted to come together and give you a little bit of like a commentary or behind the scenes look into what it took to produce this videos and our experiences.
Yeah,
right? just talk about our time there in Casutka. So
I'll start because
Yes.
for me it was kind of personal, right? I grew up in Ecuador. My parents served there for something like 23 years.
Yeah.
I grew up in Shell, which is where we based, right?
well,
And
you gotta tell. They're gonna wonder who your
okay, so my parents are Jean and Lynn Jordan. Went to Ecuador in 1978. I was born there. Actually, they lived in the Nate Saint house when I was born.
Oh man.
So it was all kind of full circle for me. And even telling my dad, hey, we're going to Casutka, he said, oh, I was the MAF pilot who did the first landing at that airstrip. So I'm not sure what year that was. And then just as an adult to go back and see like, oh, wow, this is where I grew up. And this is what my dad did every day was pretty incredible because I don't know if I would want to do that now. I mean, we just stood out there, right, when we arrived on the airstrip, and you guys were filming airplane landings and takeoffs, and I was just standing there getting eaten up by chiggers.
We were
sunburned.
too. We were too.
Yeah.
Well, we seasoned lifelong MAF person, right?
Right.
And then Chad, you're pretty fairly new,
Yeah.
especially in comparison, right? Like,
Well, yeah, I've only been, I think at this time, just over a year or just under a year at MAF, somewhere in there.
Was it your
But
first trip?
It was my first trip with MAF Interior. Actually, first trip with MAF anywhere.
yeah.
So that was really a really neat experience.
But we were there. We were sweating buckets. There was no water. It was a little bit rough. But I was impressed. Like, you're out there with all this heavy camera equipment, leaning down, doing all the things. You were not complaining. And I was like, go Chad.
Yeah.
First trip, he did it.
Oh man, yeah. I had like this weird proud dad moment with Chad where I was like, oh, there he is. He's doing it because I don't know. I've been doing this for quite some time and been on many MAF flights and stuff, and I had no doubt you would do well. But then you see them like in their element, like and really thriving. Like you just thrived in there. Like,
It was fun. I really enjoyed it, and honestly, just the experience of meeting the people and the culture, like it was just really cool.
I was super impressed with the pastoral couple that's there.
Yes.
Super dedicated. So they're Ecuadorian, but they went cross-culturally as missionaries, right? Because they left their homes in the city and came to this jungle location, raised their kids when it was much more rustic, no medical care. They sacrificed that to bring that to the community. And you can see the fruit of that now.
Oh, yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
was it 18 years that they had been there?
18 years.
Something around that.
Yeah.
And the community loves them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when they show up, they're so excited.
Yeah.
And I was so impressed with their dedication.
And some of the things that they were talking about is that the church is thriving in Kasutka, but there's a network of churches now because they've gone out to these other villages. It's like the gospel is spreading.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people who were worshiping in that church are from other churches who wanted to come and worship with them
Right.
that weekend. And so it was just really neat to hear just, like how God's been good and how the fruits are.
And how intentional he was about that. Like,
Yeah.
he's not the one doing the discipleship. He has this model where he shows them how to evangelize, and then he has them go do it.
Yeah.
So, like you said, all those churches, they're the fruit of that kind of model, but it's the
Right.
people in Kasuka who have done the work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Mhm.
So,
And it's interesting because they were all so warm and loving and welcoming. I still have no context for, I can imagine, but what it was like before the gospel came and transformed that community.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it sounded very opposite.
Yeah, lots of suspicions of outsiders. When I was working on the script later, I actually had to go to an older missionary who'd worked with the Shrub people for a long time and ask for the translation of one of the words because it didn't quite make sense to me. And I guess that's just their culture was very suspicious, like no outsiders, not just foreigners like us, but like no one from the village next door. That's what they're fighting back and forth.
right. That's where that warring stuff happened. Like,
Yeah.
stories of war is about.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, even within the village, right? Yvonne was talking about
right.
that before, especially his dad was somebody who went around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
One of the cool moments that I enjoyed was before we did any interviews or anything, we just sat down and we just talked with that missionary family.
Yeah.
Diego and Annabella, and just to hear their story. And some of their stories just brought tears to my eyes.
Yeah.
It was just so cool to like get to know them and hear their story and their experience. That was really cool.
Yeah.
What about the church service, Chad? What was your highlight from that? That's what I thought you were going to say.
Oh, well, yeah,
The part where they had you come up front and dance?
Yeah, they had me partake in the dance, and I had no idea what was going on, but I'm like, all right, I'm going along for the ride.
Yeah, those moments are really like usually as the camera person, you get to like, oh, I'm videoing, so I can't really partake or something. Like one of the church people just like came
Grabbed
up to
his
you,
camera.
grabbed your camera, and filmed it.
Yeah.
And so you had no excuse but to go up there. And so it was so great.
It was fun.
That was kind of surprising. Did you know that was going to happen? Like they were going to invite us
No,
up there?
not at
Yeah,
all.
I was surprised. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, this is okay.
Yeah.
All right, I guess this is what we're doing. Okay, let's go.
But they
Let's do
loved it. They loved it.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
There was that other other lady, Alex. We didn't
Yes.
interview her, but she was just
Yes.
amazing. She was like from another village, right?
Yeah, so she's Shuar. The people there are Shuar. She is that, but she's from another village.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like their cultural ambassador in a way because she's a believer, but she also came from this very traditional Shuar background where her uncle was a witch doctor.
Yeah.
She told us some really crazy stories, but she took care of us.
Oh yeah.
She cooked us this amazing breakfast. You guys remember the breakfast she cooked us right before we left?
I mostly just remember the grubs that you ate.
It was the grubs.
So gross.
That was pretty much it.
But that was because you already had tried them and they weren't that great
They were
live. Right?
raw.
I mean, I'll eat them raw. That's fine. That's fine. But I think she had them the night before, right?
Yeah,
When
she
came to visit, and they were all live.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And she was saying that she was planning to cook them
Yeah.
the next morning.
Yeah.
And I told her that I would love to have these cooked if that'd be okay.
So between
And,
raw and cooked, what was your favorite?
It was definitely cooked.
Yeah.
It's much more pleasant cooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you're right. The raw is more for the dramatics, to show off that you ate a live grub.
But yeah, I mean, Alex had cooked that stuff for us, and it was so cool for her to just, like you said, she really took care of us. She was always helping, and she would have to get up really early in the morning to cook and come to the village.
Yeah.
And hearing her story, we talked about her story, like just how hard of a life she's had, and to see just the sweetness and tenderness of her heart was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How is it for you guys interacting with Yvonne like off camera? Like,
he's pretty just chill, sit in the back kind of a person, which I think contrasts, like we didn't know him before.
Yeah.
But contrasts with probably who he was before and how he was before.
Yeah.
But he was so sweet and accommodating, you know?
Yeah, he was just a very kind person.
Yeah.
And yeah, when he was talking about his past, you're just listening to him talk, and it does sound like a completely different person.
Right.
So that transformation was very apparent.
Yeah.
And just seeing how he lives today and hearing how he was before.
And even how loving he was with his boys. The first day that we met them, one guy was kind of sick, and he was just, touching them and kind of that. I don't think that's normal. I mean, I think that's from his faith. Okay, this stuck out to me. I forgot about this. He knew that we were going to come interview him. So we sat down on these little wooden stools under the tree, and I was prepared with my questions to ask him things.
Yeah.
And he just whips out of his back pocket this notebook paper, and he had written down his testimony. And I don't know if you picked up on this, but it was very well organized. Like, he had prepared, and I think the pastor has trained them how to share. So it was like, this is who I was before. So there's that line from the video, I was a sinner, I was a drunk. That was him, all him. This is who he was, and then he talks about how he meets Jesus, and then he talks about how he is now. And like, even I think us, like, we'd have a hard time just pulling that out in a very well organized testimony. Right. But then when we went back the second day to shoot some B-roll, somehow we got on this conversation. He talked about dressing like a warrior before, and he said, "Hey, you want me to go do it?" And we're like, yes.
That would be really great.
Yeah. So he just walks over to his yard, picks some of these. I think they're called achote. It's a little plant, and you break it open, and they're like a red kind of chalky substance inside. So he just starts putting the paint on, and you were like, wait, what?
Wait, slow down. We gotta
come over here in the good light.
And I was like, hey, Kim, can you just communicate with him that like we have to do this like one step at a time? So like.
Oh, yeah, because he was total habit, like, football.
Like, he's done it.
Yeah.
It was like
many
super
times.
fast. And
but
it was, so like leading up to that, we were talking about, well, we want to portray who he was in a way, like who he was before he knew Jesus, right? But we didn't want to just like, hey, can you just like, we didn't want to simulate things that he had done in his past. Like, it just felt very like disrespectful to do that, right? Like, no, we don't want you to pretend to yell at the pastor or threaten him or anything like that, or, pretend that you're drunk and you're like, stumbling through. It just felt felt very insensitive.
Yeah.
So I think what we were like, we'll just have him carry the spear around, and maybe we'll do some close up with the hands, and you see that in the video, and then and then as we were shooting those close ups with the hands, he just says out loud like, "Do you want me to dress up like a traditional Shuar warrior?" And then I think you told us about that. He's like, he's asking if you want him to do this. And I'm like, is that okay? It's like, you okay?
Yeah.
And then it was like, I think after we filmed all that, like him doing that, like we were thinking like, well, we can't just like leave him here in this outfit. Like, what's the transformational moment? Like, what can we do to portray that part? And it's like, well, he's gonna have to clean up at some point.
Yeah.
Like, let's just film that. Film him cleaning up.
I really liked how that came out in the video.
Yeah.
It was very impactful. Really well.
So
it just kind of unfolded. It's like, oh wow, the story is happening.
Well, and that smile, that smile that he gives you, he's cleaning up his face, totally genuine.
That's
and
him.
Totally him.
Oh man, it was great. I'm glad you brought that up. That was a really good moment.
It was. Filming. Yeah, that whole situation.
Yeah, I mean, it was really neat. It's always neat to go into these places and just hear how the gospel has transformed people and the communities there, and you get to see it and experience it. And hopefully, in these videos, you guys get to see that. You guys are actually seeing that and feeling it from the video, because that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that you guys are seeing that. So,
and I would say something that I think is concerning is now that they have built a road to the village, now they have more drug trafficking, more alcoholism, and it's just kind of concerning to see what might be coming for that community. So, like, if you're watching, I would ask that you keep on praying for these people, because it's going to be, I even saw in some of the youth, I think there's going to be a bit of a clash there, right? They're going to get culture. They have now the internet on their phones. Things are going to come in. So there's going to be some challenges to that gospel teaching that they've learned.
It's one of those things, like, to let in the good things from the outside world,
brings the bad as
It
well.
brings the bad too.
Yeah, they did talk about that.
Yeah.
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 So, well, like flight crew, I hope this has been like a really good time just listening to us talk and isn't just a weird like us just reminiscing for our sake and not yours. We really hope that this gives you a deeper understanding of the story and who Ivan is and Diego and Annabella and yeah, hopefully you guys just really enjoy that. And until next time we reach out to you guys, hope you guys have a good month.